If you're at home in quarantine mode, check out Neon Knights 2086. It's a cyberpunk racing game that I published and kickstarted. It's only $20 at funagaingames.com. Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at these roads here. I did two styles, the desert and the highway style. So for these I used playmats, which I went to buy at a local store, and they were really cheap. He was trying to get rid of them, so if you have a local store that has some cheap playmats, you could buy one or two and cut them up however you need. So first you could start by measuring actually how long a lane should be, and you could put a Hot Wheel to measure that, or use measuring tape. I'm doing this completely from scratch without not even a ruler to cut. I'm using this wooden box over here found in my kitchen. So I mean, you guys probably have more tools than I do, so if I could do these, you could definitely do these. So after measuring, just cut off the excess with your hobby knife, and you should have a few lanes depending on how many you need. I only bought one playmat, so I didn't have that much to work with. So once you've measured it, cut it up, you could use some gray, any type of gray that you have, and just brush the underside of the playmat with some gray here. This is the first one that I did, so I don't know what I was doing, but I just put gray all over it and hoped for the best. As you do it, you're gonna learn that there's better methods to do this, and not just start anywhere and put gray anywhere. The playmat actually sucks up the paint right away off your brush, so I had to put a lot on this one to try to make it even. Now to make corners, you just gotta put one of the roads you did on top of another one and cut using a hobby knife the same size as the road. So this is going to give you the corner, the turning tile that you're going to need if you want to put some curves in the road. As you can tell, both sides are going to be the same, and it's going to be basically a square. So cut a few of those. So now I have a few straights and a few curves, and again with the gray on the curved tiles, I'm going to do just an outline, like a quick outline of the asphalt's going to be. There's going to be lines here, white lines that I'm going to paint. So just, you don't need to put any gray there. Just put it in the curve here, like so. Again, this is the first curve that I did, so a lot of mistakes on that one. You learn as you go. And hopefully if you have 2 or 3 playmats, you'll have a lot to play with. Don't forget to go up and down also. Sometimes you see that on the road, some gray up and down, and make some lines in the middle here. That's where the tires of the car goes, right? So, I mean, again, use pictures on the internet of a road and try to mimic that with whatever paints you have. But yeah, it's not going to be a uniform color all along. It's gonna change depending on the tires and where they're traveling. So as I did these, I kind of learned a bit more where to put the gray and how to put the gray, and I mean, practice, right? So I've made a bunch of tiles here, and then with the white, I'm going to do the lines here on the side. I'm going to show you how not to do this, and how not to do this is by putting a separator there and then just painting up and down with the brush, going like up and down and sliding the brush. You don't want to do that, because when you do that, you're kind of putting paint underneath that thing that you're using to try to cover it. So as you can see, the road got dirty. So the trick is you gotta dab the paint from up to down, like just use your paintbrush and stab the road kind of up and down, and then when you remove your protector here, just lift it very slowly. Don't move it, don't slide it, it's gonna make the paint go on your road. And I mean, it's fine, it's Gaslands, right? So maybe Gaslanders, Wastelanders painted these lines, so they don't have to be perfect. Now for the curve, all you need to do is a little white point here. That's where the white line is gonna meet on both of your road tiles. So it's really just a little white square at the edge here. And then all around, the same way you did with the roads. And put some excess paint and then just dab with your paintbrush up and down. Try not to slide your paintbrush. And, I apologize for my hands. We're in an epidemic right now and I wash pretty often and put sanitizer, so getting a few rashes there on my knuckles. So I apologize for that. Don't want to gross you out in these videos. Moving on. In the middle here, we want to put some yellow lines. So you could use a template like I'm doing here, and then with a pencil just draw out some squares. I believe that one was, I felt it was too big, too unrealistic, so I made the other ones a bit thinner, smaller, and then with a hobby knife just cut around what you did. Again, these don't have to be perfect. You can even make just one template and then use the one template, but I feel like this, it's easier to stay straight on the road. So I did 4 or 5 on one line here. Then with the hobby knife, just cut it out. You want to put some yellow and some orange, because the lines on the roads aren't always like bright yellow. There's always a bit of like it's an orange tint to it, so you could put like a little bit of orange in your yellow to get that color that's on the roads. Put some 2 drops here in the yellow, mix that up. And that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to show you how not to do it. Again, I didn't follow my own tip. So first time I did these, I was going up and down with the brush very fast, quickly sliding the brush over the template. I wasn't pushing down hard enough on the template, and I had paint brushes, going under the template and just putting yellow all over the place. So when I removed the template, I got a true wasteland painted line, which was very ugly. Actually, Wastelanders probably would have done a better job than I did. So what I did is slowed down, went up and down with the paintbrush, dabbed, just dabbing up and down without sliding the brush, and make sure not to push too hard, because then the hairs on your brush are going to go under your template and they're going to put yellow everywhere. So the second time around was much better. Still not as clean as I would like, but better. Now to make the yellow lines on the curve, I'm going to put the curve on top of where your template's going to be and just outline it like so with a pencil. And then center it with a road that you already made, and just do the start of where the yellow line would actually start. Do this by eye. It's not, I mean, if you want to measure you could, but I like to do things quick, cut corners, and then just line up the lines here. I'm gonna split probably the middle in my eraser and then cut using a hobby knife to create the template. And this is what I'm going to use to make the lines on the curved tiles that I cut. Just put it on top of the tile, put some paint on your brush, and go up and down and dab into the template. And not bad. Again, could have been better, but I mean, these are just roads, and I'm not entering any competitions here to make terrain. I'm sure you have ideas. You're probably getting ideas on how to make these better already. I'm going to clean these yellow lines that are ugly. So what I did was I put some gray and some black to make some asphalt color. And I'm going to paint straight along all the edges and try to blend the middle asphalt color so that it kind of matches the road. I mean, it's fine that your road looks dirty. It's a road, it should be dirty. And it's okay that the middle is darker because the cars pass less there. For the most part, in their lane, I'm assuming. And it looks pretty good. I mean, it's darker in the middle. It's okay. I've seen roads that are dark in the middle. And yeah, with the black, you could just, put some line in the middle here where the tires don't usually go. So these are all little details you could add to your road as you're working on them. The white line too can be cleaned if you do a mistake or whatever. Just put some black on your brush with some gray, and you could do the entire line so that it looks like maybe a bit of a shadow on the paint there. And then with a brush and some water, you could just pass your brush with a lot of water. It's a playmat, so it's gonna soak it up. Don't forget to eat. Speaking of water, drink water, eat whatever you can find. Add a piece of macaron there, so. And then back to painting. You could also, if you're wearing gloves, you could use your fingers to move the black paint around. So you put a bit of black, and then on the reverse playmat, it actually smudges pretty well. And you can see the black adds some detail to the road of where like tires would go, and the yellow lines are cleaned. So I'm gonna do that with all the curves here. Put a bit of black, use my finger and smudge it. Basically doing the asphalt so that it looks a bit realistic. And yeah, now with some black paint, you could do some cracks, start damaging your asphalt. If you have a hard time painting these, just pretend you're doing tree branches. That always helps. Make sure they're more jagged than curvy. And sometimes there's even, like when I was looking at pictures, there was some straight lines that look like H's. So I did some straight lines, and those are pretty realistic cracks. Super easy to do, just black paint. And here I'm gonna do maybe a pothole, a small crater, a bunch of cracks sticking out. Now, don't be scared to go on the white line too. I mean, that always cracks as well. So, or go on top of your yellow lines. That's fine too. Asphalt cracks everywhere. Those are those straight lines that I was mentioning. They look like weird H's. And you could also dirty up your white line, because obviously cars are probably driving over them once in a while. So it's too clean. You got to dirty that up. Just dry brush some black on top of it, and it looks pretty good. I'm gonna take another break, some chicken wings, and once that's done, get back to painting. Also, standing up is a good idea once in a while, guys. 5-6 hours sitting down painting these things, you want to stand up and stretch, which can give you great ideas, like using a Sharpie maybe to clean the yellow lines that weren't as straight as you wanted them to be. And my Sharpie is actually pretty old, so it's not working that well. If I had a new one, it would would be much easier, much nicer. And if I had a pointy Sharpie, I could do the cracks probably much better, much nicer. But you know, you could even use the Sharpie to dirty up the middle of the lanes here. And again, do some cracks and stuff on the curved tiles and dirty up the white area, so makes it more realistic. Again, dry brushing black works fine on dirtying up stuff. I like the reverse playmat, it gives a nice texture. If you want, you could add some dirt or some sand on the side of your road in case you're playing on a brown table or a brown playmat. The brown's gonna look pretty good. And once I started, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it all brown, and I'm just gonna keep the skinny playmats that I cut as the highway. So I'm just gonna dirty up here all these white lines, which I cleaned for nothing, but I feel like the brown is nicer, you know, the dirt of the wastelands. And then dry brush, make it look like some of the dirt went onto the road here. That looks not bad. You can even do maybe like some bumps of dirt, like extra dirt going on, like you see here, going on the road. I mean, the wind pushes it on the road, it's not always even. And what's great about these roads is that they are travel friendly. So when you're going to a friend's house to play a game or whatever, these are super easy to bring with you. It's like the easiest terrain to bring with you, and it adds a lot to the look and also gameplay if you play with the road rules. Now for the corners, if you want, you could even cut out the excess here, so you have more of the playmat showing, or more of your terrain or your table showing, whatever you're playing on. Just cut that out and clean it up with some brown. Now for the highway roads, these are just extra pieces. I didn't know what to do with them, so I just painted them. But if you have more pieces, you could use the same method and put like 2 white lines in the middle or something. So I decided to just clean up the white lines with some black, and even with some water. If you have some water on a brush, the paint, if it's not dry, it's gonna be very easy to move around with a brush full of water. There's a nice little fade also on the road here, and don't forget to add the cracks and stuff. Maybe you could use these for 1 lane or something. And that's basically it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. A lot of cool stuff coming. And don't forget to like and comment. Let me know what you think. I try to answer everybody on my channel. And also, if you're looking for dice or engine blocks with skulls on them, things to modify your car, like weapons, pipes and rams in front, you could get these containers that have full of guns and missile launchers and rams on our Etsy page in the description. And you could also win one on our Facebook page at Gaslands TV. We're also on Instagram, so if you want to look for Gaslands TV on Instagram. Thanks for all the support so far, guys. I really appreciate it. And as always, stay tuned.